Hello, I'm Stephen Mill, and welcome to this special season review in which Dunfermline Athletic became champions again. The campaign started with the Premier Sports Cup group stages, with a trip to Methil to face East Fife. This was the opening challenge for James McPake and his men.
Keep coming then, Jack. Keep coming, Jack.
Despite the Pars exiting the Premier Sports Cup by the narrowest of margins, they weren't to be stung twice in 1 week by the Wasps as Alloa Athletic returned to KDM Group East End Park for match day 1 of the SPFL Cinch League One season. Trip to Kelty was next up on match day 4, where Dunfermline gained a hard-fought point. Next up, it was Airdrieonians who travelled to West Fife for the final fixture in August. Sandwiched in between an away league trip to Peterhead were home cup ties against Celtic B in the SPFL Trust Trophy and Forfar Athletic in the Scottish Cup. 2022 FIFA World Cup took centre stage for many on Friday the 9th of December, but all eyes quickly turned to Gayfield Park as the Pars produced a world-class display against Championship side Arbroath in the SPFL Trust Trophy.
Dunfermline picking the ball up, swings up, going halfway, and knocking the ball out on the right-hand side. Great ball behind him there high ball looped in there.
Oh, brilliant play.
It was a break from League One duty in mid-January as Dunfermline travelled to two Championship sides within the space of a few days. Partick Thistle in the Scottish Cup and then Dundee in the SPFL Trust Trophy. Draws at home to FC Edinburgh at the end of March and Kelty Hearts at the beginning of April were sandwiched between two vital away trips to Montrose and Falkirk. Positive results would bring the title to within touching distance.
What's your leaders, you fucking car?
Well, there you go, folks. Dunfermline Athletic, winners of SPFL Cinch League 1 for season 2022-2023. The Pars are champions again. I've been Stephen Mill. Thank you so much for watching. I'll leave you with a few words from the champions themselves.
James, is it quite sunk in yet that you're a champion here at Dunfermline?
Yeah, well, it seems that long ago now that we won the league out there against Queen of the South. Obviously there's been some key games in between and we had records that we were proud of and wanted to maintain and some we wanted to break. Obviously the trophy day was a special day for everyone involved, players, staff, family, friends, supporters, everyone that was involved in that day. It was a special day, and then we had another game after that we wanted to go over the line in the best possible way, and we managed to do that. So, no, look, it's sunk in. That's the thing with football. It's failures or bad results seem to linger for a while, and I think what's been really important and what we've had to stress to the players and the rest of the staff is when we achieve something as special as this, we've got to savour it and enjoy it. But, you know, the beauty of football is you're straight back to work.
If we look back to last summer when you came into the job, remind us of what you kind of felt as you walked through the door, what challenge was in front of you and how you looked to kind of get everybody galvanised and going again for the upcoming campaign.
Well, initially coming in, obviously I knew the football club. I've been on record a lot saying that I've played here, I've brought a team here and managed here, so I knew a lot about the football club. And in the time I was speaking to the board about the job, then obviously I watched a lot of footage. I had only been out the game maybe 3 months, but really in all it was 7 weeks of a break I had because I got COVID, so couldn't get the surgery for 7 weeks. And then after getting the surgery, my full focus, I'll be honest, wasn't on football. It was on the recovery for the knee injury, and in particular for my family, because I needed to get that right to be able to play with the kids. So then I had a lot of games to watch. I had a lot of digging to do really into what had caused this football club, or could I find reasons that this football club had been relegated, and of course that's open to everyone's interpretations and people will see it in different ways. So along with my staff and the people that I speak closely to and I'm close with in football, then I had those discussions, and then coming in, there were a buzz again. It was, as I've said before, I wasn't wanting straight back in. I did need the break, and particularly with the surgery as well. I certainly felt I needed the break, physically and mentally, probably from what was a tough few years in management, my first couple of years in management. But when I walked back in here when I walked in here for the first day, then I had that buzz about me again that I just wanted to crack on, and seeing the place and just meeting the people, the facilities, hearing the plan that was in place, and then the realisation that we had to accept we were a League One team. That was really important. We had no right to say we were a big club. We had no right to say anything really. Of course, there's a great history around about this football club that we're all very proud of. The Scottish Cups, the leagues that have been won before, the great players that have played here. But we were a League One team this time last year when I came in the building. So look, it was important to come in with that mindset that we just had to start winning games again. It was a reset button, and I was quite comfortable with that.
I know you just said there about it was purely about winning games again, but in-house, was there always this confidence that we could go and have a successful season, or did that have to be grown as the games started to go by and the wins started to tick over?
I think when you start any season, your goal is to be successful. Now, how you judge success and how supporters judge success at certain clubs is different. Success for some clubs could be just staying in a division. That was an aim when I was at my previous club when we were in the Premiership. So it's what you interpret success individually, collectively. But no, again, I'll be brutally honest. The first thing that myself and Dave and the rest of the staff, when we come in, and Monty was key to that as well, because he was here the year before. So he was I was a sponge to him really, and asked him everything about the football club, and he was very open and honest and helpful. But then our success was, we just wanted to, and again, it's not without it sounding too simple, we wanted to work really hard. We wanted the players to buy into that real hard working environment that we were trying to create. And that's not to say there wasn't one before, but obviously we didn't know that because we were new to the football club. And then take it game by game. And we approached the friendlies in that manner as well, and we had a pretty good pre-season. And that's what it was. It wasn't a case of, right, we're going in there, we're in League One, we have to get out the league, and there were never a pressure. And I can open and honestly say that. There were never a pressure from the board, from David, to say we need to win this league. We need to finish in the playoffs. That was never an ultimatum that was given to us. But look, internally you have your own ambitions, your own drive that you want to be successful. So of course we wanted to come in here and make an impact at the football club, and I believe we've done that.
The standards seem to have been set from day one from yourself and your staff. What kind of ethics did you feel you had to put in place to get that winning mentality going and get everybody pulling in the right direction again?
There's a few I think that are vastly important, and out of them all is just hard work. And I know that's the answer I give in every pre-match press conference, every post-match, every interview I do. But it's what I firmly believe in. If you can work as hard, and it's what I said in my first interview a year ago, if you can just work as hard as you can, if you can give everything, it's sometimes not enough, and you'll lose a game of football. That's just the nature of this game. But if you can work hard and show the fantastic supporters that spend their hard-earned cash to come in their numbers, to be fair, and get behind this football club, we explained that to the players, and in as simple a term as that, if you can give us everything every day, and then on a Saturday or a Tuesday, whenever the game is, if you can go out there, whether it's home or away, and show to the supporters that's what you're doing, then yeah, they'll criticise you for defeats, of course they will. There's nothing wrong with that. But when they go home and the dust settles, they'll say, well, you know what, we did get beat today, but the boys never let us down. They never stopped running, they never gave in, and it was wee things like that we tried to do. Another key thing, we had to get the togetherness. We had to sign players that we knew, and in the first instance it was Kyle Benedictus, I believe, was the first signing, someone I've knew for a while. I know what type of player he is, but more importantly, I know what type of person he is. He comes in, he's a captain. And look, I was lucky as well. I had Graham Dorrans here when I came in, who I'm close with, and I could speak to Graham and ask questions. And it's not going to people and asking them to tell tales on what happened, because I wasn't really interested in what happened the year before. My focus was on what I could do and what the staff could do to make it as you say, a successful season. So you lean on the people that were here, and that might not just be the players. It could be the media team. It could be anyone, and everyone's been so helpful, and I think that's helped. We've got a real unity, bond, togetherness, whatever you want to call it. We have a variety of different members of staff, and I hope, I'm not talking out of turn, but I hope and I believe that they feel this is a successful season for them as well, because for the full football club, everyone's worked so hard to have this trophy sitting here, and it's equally as important the job that the ground staff do, to what the players do, to anyone. We're all in it together at this club, and that's been really important this season.
If you take all the games throughout the course of the campaign, we played 45 in all competitions, and we won 28, drew 14, lost 3, scored 85 goals and conceded 30. How does that sound when it's read out to you?
I'll be greedy. I'm a wee bit annoyed it was 30. There's some goals that were avoidable, and no, like, it's an incredible record in terms of out of all those games, and particularly the league games, only conceding 21 goals. That's a fantastic achievement for the players and the work they've done, and it just shows that desire not to lose goals, and that's something you do need to be successful. But no, like, it sounds great. I've seen all the records, I've seen all the stats, and we enjoy them, we're proud of them, but we know come next year that they count for nothing. We move on to another season, and let's see what stats or what records are just what we can do next season with that. But like I said there, it's important that we reflect on this season and we enjoy it, because it has been successful in many different ways.
If there was a bump in the road, and that might be a draw at home, which we feel we could have won the game, or whether it was a defeat, we always bounced back strongly, and we always started that new run very quickly. And it seemed that when the big games came about in front of the bigger crowds, the more high expectation, high pressure environments, the players seemed to thrive in those games and those situations.
Yeah, although all the games are big, when you play for this football club or manage this football club, there's an expectancy that they want you to win every week. They demand you win every week, and the big games in terms of the fantastic atmosphere out there against Falkirk, the great atmosphere at the Falkirk Stadium, and the 1-0 game, and then games like that, they all do stick out, but certain ones stick out for me as well. Nikolai Todorov's winner against Montrose, like early in the season, late on in the game. One on the other side when we're 2-0 up with 5 minutes to go against Peterhead, and we draw the game out there 2-2. A very disappointing afternoon, that, being in the position we were in. So they're all big games, and I think the players approached each game that way, and maybe our record was so good in the so-called bigger games because those teams came and had a go at us. They came and felt they could play their way and beat us, which, if I was a manager of another team, then that's maybe what I would do. But I think that suited us when teams did come and open up, as opposed to sitting in, because it's tough. And I'm not saying we've never done that. We done it at Falkirk for a while. We didn't just sit in, but we had a plan to allow them to have the ball in certain areas, and we knew we could hurt them. In the end, that day, the 1-0 game, they went a lot more direct than we expected. They're a team that's known for trying to play football and having a lot of possession, but that day down at the Falkirk Stadium when Whiten scored the winner, it didn't quite work, the game plan that we had set up, because they went very direct, so we couldn't nick the ball in the areas that we had set traps to nick it. So, but then you score for a set play anyway that wins you the game, so it just shows you that. But no, it's in those games when teams do open up and have a go at us, that's when we're really effective, and that's where you see how well we can hurt teams, and that's maybe why that the so-called big games, because I believe they're all big, but I know where it's coming from because of the atmospheres, because of the rivalries, and because of where teams are in the league. But and again, sorry, we showed that we can sit in as well when we went to Airdrie and we were down to 9 men for 35 minutes, and we could get into a shape, we could defend. So we work on a variety of different things in training, and I believe you have to do that because you're going to need a little bit of everything over the course of a season.
Was there a particular game or moment, goal, anything like that maybe stands out in your mind where maybe even potentially just quietly in your own head you thought, yeah, we're onto something good here and we're on track for being successful?
There's two. One was the defeat at Montrose. That was, and that sounds crazy because you're now thinking, well, how did that put you on track? But I'd love to be sitting here saying we went through a full season undefeated in the league. However, if Montrose hadn't beat us, the next team would have been desperate to beat us, the next team, and that the longer it went, then would the pressure have been on the players? I think they could have handled it, I'm sure, but for me that was a real moment in the season, that not a reset like we had at the start of the season, but it was kind of right, we weren't bad on the day. Look, we've played worse this season and won. Then that game up at Montrose, we could have been in the lead, but fair play to them, they took their chances, and their second goal were chasing the game, so we weren't too concerned about that. But after the game, it was a team talk where you go in and we basically says well done to the players, and then that's not something maybe fans will expect to hear, but the players were excellent for a large part of that game. But looking back now, it was probably important we lost that game just to remind them, because everything was pretty plain sailing at that point, but we had to remind them that every team's desperate to beat us, and as are every team desperate to beat a Falkirk or an Airdrie, whoever's at the top end of the league. Then every day you're there to be shot at. So that was an important game, and just an important point in the season where we could just refresh the lads again and say, look, we need to get back on this run. How long can we go again without getting beat? And obviously it's went to the end of the season, which is magnificent. And then the other one, and a real key one for me, was the win out there against Falkirk. That was a special night. I think the largest crowd in a decade at KDM Group East End Park. The place was electric. It was a cold Tuesday night in March, freezing cold actually, and the numbers it turned out were incredible. But not just that, the atmosphere was incredible that night, and that gave the players that drive. We weren't great in the first half, but we were never troubled. And then the little tweaks at half time, and it's nothing. I'm not saying myself and Dave and Martin and Monty or MD in there had this great idea to go out in the second half and do that. There was nothing special about it. We just decided to up the tempo, press them a little bit higher and force them into mistakes, and that's what happened in the game. And when that second goal goes in, and you know the game is won, because that team by then were so, the Peterhead one, that little memory would have stuck in their head, knowing it was 2-0, but they were never going to throw that away. Then the scenes at the end as well, and it was probably that game, as much as I don't want to disrespect any other club, but after that game it was it would have been a disaster hadn't we won the league, and I don't think that group of lads were ever going to let that happen. Certainly as a group of staff, we were never going to let standards drop, and I think that was shown at Alloa last week when it could have been holiday time, and you seen just how important it was for them to win that game as well. So yeah, those two games, the defeat at Montrose, and then that great night out there against Falkirk, and that one in particular stands out just for the atmosphere that night. That was incredible.
So in conclusion, a good first season for yourself as manager, but the hard work continues and you'll be looking ahead to next campaign already.
A great first season. Look at again, I'm not going to sit and just say that, oh no, I've been relatively happy with how we've done. I've been delighted. I've come into a football club that I've knew about but didn't know the history, the people in it. I feel myself and my staff that the new ones that come in with me, in terms of Dave, Martin, Monty was obviously here, Andy Collier come in. So we've got a group of staff in that are new to the football club as well, and the way they've welcomed us. And I mean the staff around about the place that have worked here, some of them for 30 years, some of them for a couple of years. Each and every one of them seem to have got behind us, seem to want us all to do well. The way the supporters have taken to the team, and I mean everyone in the team, whether that's staff and players, has been incredible. That you can see the bond is there. And that goes back to that very first question. It's down to hard work. Like, you give them that, and you wear everything. You wear your heart on your sleeve. You leave everything out in the pitch. You leave everything on the training pitch, and those supporters will back us. So no, look, it's been a fantastic first season. It's been a pleasure to work at this football club. I'm very proud of what we've achieved, but we'll enjoy it for the next wee while. The hard work has started. Yeah, I'm looking forward to a holiday with my girls and taking them away, because it's been 3 years due to surgery, due to COVID, whatever. So it's been 3 years since I've been away on holiday as well. So that's important. But the difference between being a player and a manager is it never does stop. It dies down a little and then picks back up when players get released or leave other clubs, and then the phone starts going. But look, we've got a great group of staff here in terms of recruitment, board. Obviously, Dave and Martin work tirelessly with me. Monty just does everything, and we've got a great group here that can handle a lot of that when I'm away on holiday as well. So no, look, we've staggered, myself and Dave have staggered our holidays just to make sure if there's anything needing done, we're here. But no, I'm certainly going to enjoy that trophy for the next couple of weeks, and then I'm going to get away on holiday, and then the hard work starts again, and all this season's forgotten about.
You were the first signing under the new manager, and when we first spoke in the summer, it was about getting back to winning ways, and it must have been, the feel amongst the players that were here from last season must have been quite low. So talk us through the role of you as captain and the manager, kind of trying to lift those boys and meeting those early objectives to get us off and underway and off to a positive start.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, when I first signed, obviously, what happened to the club last year, obviously the boys were still here. Must have been hard for them. Obviously, I've been in that position before myself, and it's no easy to get yourself back up. But I think obviously the manager coming in, it was a new spirit around the dressing room. As you say, I just tried to come in and obviously give the best I could, and just said like last year was done. This year we need to get back to winning games, and I think the boys have done that from the very start. As you can see, like one defeat in the league all season. It's incredible what these boys have achieved, and you say fully deserved to be league champions, and obviously tomorrow we'll enjoy it.
In-house, it was probably different to what was said publicly. I'm guessing there was always a feeling amongst the group that promotion and champions was the ultimate aim and ultimately achievable at the end of the season.
Yeah, obviously we didn't want to bump our gums or around the press or whatever. Obviously what other teams were doing. We just tried to keep it in-house and what we could achieve, and if we'd done the right things, worked hard, good team spirit around the dressing room, these things could happen. And as you say, it's came to fruition, and it's a great achievement what the club's done. But as you say, there's still 2 games left, and we want to try and win both.
There was key moments throughout the campaign, and you had to step up to take some of them. You think back to penalties against Falkirk and Clyde, for example, home to get draws. Just talk us through those big moments and stepping forward as captain.
Yeah, as you say, that's my job. As you say, obviously I'm happy just to step up when I can. At the start of the season we said whoever was on the penalties, if you miss one, somebody else would take one. And that's obviously I'm sure Lewis McCann missed one, and then I just stepped up, and obviously I missed, and obviously Craig Whiting's got them now.
And what do you look back on as the biggest moments throughout the campaign? Is there one game or one kind of goal that stands out in your memory that maybe allowed us to think, yeah, we're onto something good here, or the trophy's coming home?
In terms of games, obviously I think you need to obviously say the Airdrie game when you're 3-0 down at half time to come back to 4-3. But in terms of the season, I just think consistency throughout the whole season. As you say, to lose one game throughout the whole season, and it's an incredible achievement that boys have achieved. So, as you say, in terms of one game, I would say the Airdrie away, but I think collectively for the whole season, I think we've been different class.
What standards did the manager put in place that allowed us to achieve those kind of statistics, to get up the clean sheet records, to get guys like Craig Whiting back on the goal sheet so regularly? What's he managed to install in all these players that's got the best out of you?
Yeah, he's also just integrated like a really good team spirit. First and foremost, he just makes sure we work hard and we play for that badge every time we step onto the pitch. And I think every player's done that since they've stepped on the pitch. There's been a lot of changes. There's been a small squad throughout the season. I'm sure somebody said there's maybe like 20 boys that have been used, so it's quite a low number in terms of how many boys have actually been on the pitch. So it's credit to all the boys.
First heard of it sort of a couple of weeks after I'd finished up with Hearts. I had a quick phone call with my agent that said Dunfermline were interested in things like that, which I was obviously happy to hear. I had a few other things on the table at that point, and then I was kind of going on holiday at that point with a few of the boys from Arbroath, so I was on holiday with them while still sort of speaking to my agent and trying to see what was happening. And then as soon as I came back from that holiday, I came and met the manager here, and had a really good chat with him, had a walk around the stadium, and then from sort of that point I knew that this was going to be the right challenge. And like you said, it was going to be a challenge. I'm obviously a fan. I knew the situation the club was in. It wasn't a good season last season, and I knew dropping down to this league it wouldn't be easy with the teams in it, and the way the club had sort of finished last season. That it was going to be a challenging year, but it was a challenge that I obviously was really looking forward to, and the way the manager was speaking about his plans and ideas, it was sort of a no-brainer that to come here was the right option for me as a footballer. We knew sort of when we got the bulk of the squad together that we could have a right go at it. We knew that it was going to take a good team to stop us, but obviously when you speak at the start of the season, it was the main goal was to get a smile back on the fans' faces and to start winning games again, which was obviously something the club didn't manage to do a lot last year. So that was the main aim, but between the boys and probably the management staff, we knew we had a good team in here, a good group that could go all the way, and then like you say, throughout the season that belief started to build, and it was about keeping the lid on it in terms of speaking out on things like that, but in-house being confident and aware that it was a good chance, and that if we kept pushing and working hard, then we had a real good chance.
When we won the league, it was only one defeat in 33 matches. That was pretty impressive, no matter what level of football you're at. And as players, is that something that you've looked at with great pride, or is it not really sunk in yet, that those kind of positive, successful statistics over the course of the campaign?
Yeah, it was massive when we went on. I think the first one we run was 12 unbeaten, and then it got stopped at Montrose. And then after that, straight after the game, the chat was, how can we go on another unbeaten run? And then we've obviously managed to do that probably better than what most of us could have expected. But yeah, even then I think we were on these runs, and teams were still speaking about catching us and beating us and things like that. And I think a lot of teams got caught up and sort of try to stop our run and things like that, instead of maybe focusing on themselves a wee bit, which kind of helped us as well, that we were going into games and teams were maybe focused on us a bit much. We only focused on ourselves the full season. I think that showed in the performances and the way we went about things, so that helped. But the belief was always there that we could go on these types of runs with the defensive unit we had, the players we had, and we knew if we kept clean sheets that we had boys at the top end of the pitch that could score goals.
As you say, going into the big matches against, for example, Falkirk, Coleman away, big crowds, bit of expectation, but we always seemed to deal with those challenges head on, never seemed phased, always seemed to come out with a positive result at the end of the day. How do you feel we managed to create that ability and capability within the squad to kind of grind out results when we weren't playing well, or handle the pressure when those big games came around?
Yeah, I think the manager and Dave have to take a lot of credit for that, making sure that we were prepared properly, but there was never too much pressure on us. It was all about going out and performing like we did the rest of the season and other games in the season. So they've got to take credit for that, and then the boys have to take credit when we went on the pitch. No one seemed to be fazed by the big crowds, by the big games. When Falkirk could have went within 2 points, I think, and then we end up winning the game and making the gap much bigger. So there was big games throughout the season, Airdrie away as well, when boys had an off day, and then other boys came in and saved the day, sort of thing. So it's been a massive group effort from, like I say, the management staff all the way through to every one of the players, and we've managed to deal with occasions throughout the season, whether it been going behind, whether it been here, teams defending very deep and having to get late winners to the big games you speak about, Falkirk away and Falkirk here, that we managed to go unbeaten against all the teams that were round about us and trying to fight for the same things as us. So I think when you look back, that was probably the biggest thing throughout the season.
You mentioned the Airdrieonians away match there, the 4-3 match. If you were to define maybe a specific match or a moment in the season that maybe within the dressing room you went, right, okay, we're on the right tracks here, was that the moment, was that the match, or what would your answer be to that question?
I think we always had that belief that if we focused on ourselves and kept doing what we were doing, that we would be there or thereabouts. But that was probably, I think Falkirk, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they lost midweek, or they drew or lost midweek against Alloa, I can't remember, but that was the chance to go to make the gap quite big with sort of the games starting to run out for folk to catch us. So being in the situation we were 3-0 down, a bad day, I think other teams would be looking at it thinking that we've dropped points. So to come back from that and end up winning the game, I think Airdrie were speaking before the game saying that if they had won the 2 games we've played them, that they would have went a couple of points behind us, and then 3 or 4 weeks later I think they were 19 points behind us. So that was probably a big point in the season that we managed to get the win there, and we sort of kicked on from that. I think the belief we got from that game and the confidence everyone took from it gave us a platform to sort of kick on the rest of the season.
And is it quite sunk in yet that to be known as a champion, to have kind of got the medal round your neck and things like that, has that been something that you've been able to reflect on yet, or is it still something you can't really put into words?
Not really, it's sunk in a wee bit. I think the Queen of South game here was special after it with the family and things like that. It was a proud moment for everyone, but I think once probably throughout the summer and that I'll sit down and you'll properly reflect on what a good season it's been. And like I say, when I first signed here, there was always an expectation for us to go and win the league, but I think even the fans knew it was never going to be an easy year. There's a lot of teams in the league that probably would have fancied themselves to win the league this year. So for us to do it at sort of with the points gap that we've got, I think says a lot about the team, and it's a lot that we can be proud of.
I think it's a lot down to the gaffer and the coaching staff. I know personally for me, it was tough coming back in. It wasn't the same buzz and excitement that you get coming into the first day of pre-season because of the season that had happened previously, and I don't think I was the only one. I think all of us would have been feeling the same way, to be honest. But we had a chat downstairs, and the gaffer just pulled us all and said, look, last year's happened, it's out of the way now, we don't look back on it, and we just, from day one now, we just knuckle down and try and kick on from that. Something that we looked on to try and be defensively more solid and limit the opportunities that the opposition will get off us. So it was good to hit the ground running, like you said. It started obviously in the Viaplay Cup, I think it's called now, so I should call it that. So that was important, and then obviously to get the 3 points at the start of the first day of the season was a big thing for us, definitely. The thing recently that sticks in my mind is the 4-3 win over Airdrie. Obviously very tough opponents to play against. They've given us a good game the 4 games we played against them now, and they've had a right good go at us, and likewise we've had a right good go at them. But I think just being 3-0 down and to turn it around the way that we did, that sort of thing doesn't happen unless you're going to win a league type, really. So that sort of sticks out in my mind as it's definitely going the right way that it looks like it should be going. So that day I would say, as a whole, I think the belief was there. We had our goals that we had set ourselves, and we kept it in house, and we didn't say, what quite we want to do this year and things like that. But to be honest, I don't think, looking at it now, 2 games left in the season, to say we've only got 1 loss. You're going to lose games in leagues. Normally, it doesn't really happen very often that you go throughout the whole campaign without a loss. But personally, I didn't really think we were going to be sitting where we are now, the 2 games remaining with only 1 loss to our name. So no, it's been a tremendous season in that respect, definitely.
It's been overwhelming. It seems like it's flew in the past year, the past season. But I think it's starting to settle in now, and I think obviously when Saturday comes, it'll be all comes really real to you.
Yeah, I think it's been sort of great leading up to the game Saturday. I think we got a taste for it after Queen of the South, what it's going to be like, and I'm sure the fans will turn up and it'll be another great day. I think early doors, the manager gave me a phone call, and he just said it's a fresh start. He'd seen me play previously, so I knew coming in that it'd be a clean slate, and I just had to get the head down and work hard and show him what I could do.
I think the spirit of the team for day one coming back in for pre-season was probably the biggest thing. Obviously the gaffer asked a lot of questions about character, and I think we've went and proved that, and it's showed the full season. Even at times we've drew games, the times that we should have won games, even our first loss against Montrose. It shows a lot of character for the team, and I think it's led up to this, and it's proved. There has been little drops in the season, whether it's been the way that we've played, if we've lost, if we haven't played as well as we should have. But again, it goes back to the character that everybody showed to kind of push forward and get by that, and I think that's quite hard to do in football, to kind of get over that. We've not had a lot of downs this season, thankfully, but I think most of the time the downs are probably the biggest thing of the season, and it's how you react for them.
Aaron, for yourself, is there a moment in the campaign that you maybe look back on now as players in the changing room that you think, that was the moment that we won the league, even if it wasn't officially? Is there a game or a goal that kind of sticks in the mind?
I think the one that sticks out is the Airdrie one, going 3 behind, then coming back to win 4-3. I know we're pretty poor that day, and we should never have put ourselves in that situation, but I think after that game, although there was still a little while to go in the season, I felt like that was a big result, because I think it was a double header we played them, so I think if they had won the 2 games, we went to 5 or 6 points behind us, then we come back, won the game, and then we drew the week after. The boys wanting to do well for each other, I think it's been documented many times about the spirit in the changing room, that never say die attitude. In the big games, or where the fans have really turned out in their numbers, the boys have got results. I know that sometimes performances haven't quite been there, but I think this season's been to do with what the manager always talks about, is hard work and giving everything for the jersey, and I think we've managed to do that more times than not this season.
Taking you back to when you first joined the club, it was just at the start of the league campaign, and you kind of hit the ground running, coming off the bench and scoring really quickly. You must have been really pleased with the way you integrated yourself into the squad really quickly.
I think I'd only been in 1 day before that, so I didn't really know anybody, and it's probably the perfect way to kind of introduce myself to the team, and that was a good performance that day, and luckily I scored a goal to kind of introduce myself, like you say.
I know that you've played in this division on loan before, but coming to Dunfermline, how did the expectations compare, and how do you feel that the loan deal overall has benefited you now that you look back on it?
Like the experience from and the pressure from expecting to win every game was a lot different. Like when I was at Montrose, I think we got in the playoffs in the end, but it wasn't we weren't expected to win every week, and here it's different. Obviously a massive crowd, and the experience of playing in front of that as well. So I've really enjoyed my time here. It's been very beneficial for me. At the start of the season I was starting more games, and past couple of months I've been coming on and stuff, and that's a different experience, and you've got to try and come on and make an impact, and you've not got as much time to do it. So like you say, it's a different experience, and something that'll help me going forward, I'm sure.
You mentioned in a couple of answers ago about that kind of expectation level and the pressure has been something new to yourself out on this loan spell. Just talk us through it from a player's point of view in the changing room. As you said, we've been at the top of the league for the majority of the campaign, and did you always feel pretty relaxed in the dressing room? Did it always seemed like everything was kind of under control and everything had a lid on it?
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. Like, there's been a few games here where we've not been great first half, and you just got to come in and just go again. Like, don't start panicking, and because that's when you don't play your normal stuff. So I think we've shown that, like, coming back out in the second half a lot of the time, we come back and play well and like start the second half well and stuff like that. So that's been a big part of the season. Everybody's been quite relaxed and we've just been focusing on ourselves. So I think that's the right way to go about it.
It's obviously a great achievement by the club, and obviously the first trophy that I've won in my career. So obviously when the day when we secured the league title, it was a great day, and obviously just can't wait for the trophy day on Saturday.
For yourself personally, as we just kind of touched on there off camera, it's been a bit of a frustrating season for you. So how do you look back on it? Because of course you'll be delighted to have became a champion, but probably frustrated with the injuries that you've had throughout the campaign.
Yeah, obviously it was a kind of frustrating season for me through the injury, but I've obviously been back fit for a while, and I've contributed a couple of goals and assists since I've been back. So it's been good that way, that I felt like I've been a part of it, and obviously being around the boys every day. Whilst I was injured, I was still partying at every game, so it's still been brilliant to be involved.
I've spoke to a couple of the other guys that have been like yourself and been out for a period of time and had to try and keep themselves motivated, but it's also about the character of the whole squad, that you keep everyone else going even when you're not playing or not in the team. It's about turning up and having that positive attitude, and that seems to be instilled in everybody here at the club.
Yeah, as you said, it's been a whole squad effort. The character in the dressing room is brilliant. It's always a laugh every day when there's time for one, and obviously when there's time to work hard, we know when to switch it on. And as you say, it's been a real team effort. Obviously boys who have started the game maybe aren't doing so well, and we have to make changes to make that better.
What do you think has been the key this season that's kind of allowed us to be so consistent when we won the league? Just the one league defeat away to Montrose, I mean, that's pretty impressive no matter which team you are or which league you play in. So what characteristics do you think the manager's installed in the team to get us to that kind of level?
Yeah, I think the thing that he installed in the first couple of days was just work as hard as you can every day, and be ruthless in both boxes. I think we've done that, obviously with the clean sheets and then obviously the goals we've scored as well.
Simple, really, just work hard and you'll get your rewards, basically. If things aren't going your way then now, just continue to work hard, and rewards have come, and the team's done that, and we've got a reward. So it's quite simple. That's probably won us this league. It's just hard work. Obviously it's been enjoyable when I've been playing. Tough when you're not playing. Obviously it's hard to get yourself in a team when the team's not losing anytime. Doesn't look like you're losing anytime, but when I was in the team I felt I contributed very well and set up some important goals that gave us some important points in the league. So I definitely feel like I've contributed to this league season. So when I get my medal, I know I've done something to earn it.
When you look back at even the early part of the season, it sticks in my mind, yourself setting up Nikolai for the goal against Montrose. I mean, those were big moments to grind out those kind of 1-0 victories that got us over the line, that ultimately was probably the difference between ourselves and the chasing pack.
Aye, definitely. I think I said that in an interview at the start of the season when we beat Alloa 1-0. Played in League One 4 seasons now, and the team that always does the best is a team that's able to grind out league results, because you're not going to win games 4 or 5-0 every week in this league, because teams are hard to beat, and I think teams will probably say we were the hardest to beat this season, and we were able to grind out results, and that's what took us to the top and kept us there. So I especially been able to do last minute goals and providing that goal for Nikolai, it was a big moment at the start of the league season as well.
As well as grinding it out and finding a way to win, when we've got the chance, we've been able to really turn on the style and show the good football that we can play and the good goals that we can score. And you were the one that finished off the move against Arbroath that I think had so if every player on the park from the outfield perspective, contributing to that move. It must have been really pleasing that again those things that you work on in the training ground came off.
It's not an individual thing, it's a full team. a full team performance that led to that goal. So, and that's the thing that's carried us through the full season. It's not been one player. If one player's had a bad game, other people have picked it up, and we've done that every week. If everyone's always been together, and if maybe somebody's not having the best of game, other players will help. So it's definitely been a team effort this season, and as you say, that goal epitomises it, I would say.
Coming down from the Championship last season could have impacted us. You know, it did, to be fair, over the off season, but we just came back with a fresh start and a different mentality, and with James and Dave coming in, we kicked on straight away from the start, and to start with a couple of victories, like you said, just helped us push on. Started the first 2 league games, and I was loving time. Started with 2 wins, so it couldn't have went much better. But the injury was a frustrating one. Kept me out for a lot longer than what I obviously wished. But delighted to be back now, and hopefully get some games for the remainder of the season and help see the boys to the end of the campaign.
How difficult was it sitting on the sidelines while the team were out there winning and being successful, or did it almost help that they were, getting 3 points every week on the park? Did that aid you in your recovery to keep your spirits high?
A bit of both. Obviously, I was buzzing with the lads doing well, but being a part of it at the start, you want to get back as soon as possible and go and help them and be a part of the successful season that they've had. So I think that did motivate me to get back as soon as possible. But like I said, it took a lot longer than I would have wished for. But to see I was happy enough watching the boys win. I'm not going to complain about that. But obviously, to be a part of it would have been better for myself. From the start of the season right through to where we are now, we've just took it game by game. We've not looked ahead of ourselves. We've always just, after every game, got down, worked away at training and focused only on the next game. I think the gaffer and Dave have implemented that, and the boys in the dressing room have been the exact same. We don't look ahead of ourselves, we just focus on the next task ahead and then take it from there.
It's a team game. Obviously you want to improve individually, and that's obviously important, but you can do that on the training pitch. When the lads are doing it on the pitch and they're taking their chances, I can't complain for not playing, but when my chance comes I have to take it, and that's the mentality in the dressing room.
From the first day I came in, I can see there's a winning mentality. The boys really positive, and then you look at position of the table. When I came in, we looked like we were going to go make a real mark in the league, and ever since I've come in till now we've been excellent, all the boys, so yeah, it's been really good.
I've been asking a few of the guys about if there's been maybe a moment in the campaign that we thought, that we're onto something good here, and a lot of them have referred back to that 4-3 match against Airdrieonians, which of course was your debut, Ewan, and of course Robbie, you came on and kind of made a big impact. So I'm just wondering your kind of personal thoughts on that game, reflecting on it now, how you both kind of felt coming on at that stage in the match, how it proceeded, and then obviously getting that overall result. Did you feel in the dressing room after it as well that was that kind of defining moment in the campaign?
Yeah, you look back to games like that and you think they're the kind of games that champions win. They're the kind of games that you need to get a result in. When you're behind, you look down and out. But the mentality of this team that I've seen since I've been here, it's a never say die attitude, and we never know when we're beat. So I think that really showed in that game, and really managed to get a result, so it was good.
Yeah, the same. Obviously coming on so early, you're not expecting it sometimes, but especially for him on his debut, we done really well. It's not easy having trained one day, so I think that shows kind of the spirit around the dressing room when a lad comes on for his debut on such a tough game and does a job like that, and it clearly worked. So it just shows how much we're all in it together. Yeah,
that was really big for me personally. It showed that the manager had a lot of trust in me to put me on so well in the game. Didn't really have much time to think about the game. It's just go on and play. Do you know what I mean? I think that's really helped me throughout my time here. Do you know what I mean? Just knowing the manager has that trust in me to go play. So I think that's helped me to prove and play well. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, I think the gaffer said it loads. He has faith in every single one of the lads in there. He could have thrown anyone on, and I think everyone would have had the same impact, a very similar one, if that. So yeah, I think it's just one of them. When the dressing room's all together like that, I don't think we could ever be beaten.
All the boys in there have done the hard work. I've played a small part in that. And I've came here and every one of the boys have been great with me, and I've enjoyed it. Honestly, it's been probably, without winning the league and that, and obviously it's been probably one of my worse seasons and compared with injury and that, because I've never been in this situation, and it's been tough, but obviously the boys getting it over the line is it makes it all the worthwhile. And I can't speak highly enough of them. Every one of them, they've played their part and they've been incredible all season, and they fully deserve it. Coming in and having that bit of experience, and basically it was just, even if it's on the pitch or off the pitch, just helping the younger ones, because as I said to you before, it's quite a young squad, and but look, I've not had to say anything or do anything. The boys in there have all done it on their own. And the manager, the coaching staff will tell you that. Like, they've been incredible, and on the back of getting relegated last season, been there, I know how it feels for them to go on and do what they've done this season. People would have been asking questions of them. That's just what happens. Fans would have been questioning them, and they've answered every critic wrong and come and produced all season long. And it's just a great achievement what they've done. And obviously we still got 2 games to go, but only lost 1 game as well. It's incredible. I don't care what league or stuff like that. For to do that is it's incredible, and they deserve all the praise they get, because look, this last year I wasn't here, but I've experienced it. I know how bad it is, and to try and but look, it's still a lot of the same boys as well. Like, do you know what I mean? And for them to go on and do what they've done, they should be very proud of themselves. It just shows you the character of the boys, even how young you are. That it probably works in their favour a wee bit. He's younger, you probably don't realise, how bad it is. You don't. As you get older, you kind of, in my experience, I feel things hit you a bit harder, and when you're younger, you just feel as if chances will come round week in, week out. And the way I felt at Dundee is, you wouldn't wish it on them day. You feel as if you've let the club down. You have basically let the whole club down, and it's not a nice feeling. And then obviously for the boys to repay them and get them straight back up, and hopefully they can kick on now, because they've got some huge talent in that changing room, and it's just about adding the right players, because a lot of them will know how tough the championship is. I think the most pleasing thing that I've seen is, even when they go a goal behind, the game's never done with them, and that's massive. I wasn't here at the time, but when I seen the Airdrie score away there, they were down 3-0 to go on and win that. I mean, that's massive. I don't care what Airdrie are a good side, and for them to do stuff like that, and they've been behind in a lot of games, and they just seem to just pull it out the bag all the time, and that's massive for them, because it's just a never say die attitude, and the manager just willing them to keep going. They make mistakes, just keep going, keep everybody showing. That's the biggest thing about even with young players. Just keep, even if you're not having a good game, keep showing for the ball and go and express yourself. And that's what he's done, and you can see the benefits of it. You can see how confidence in the boys, and long may it continue.
It feels good. There's seasons where you get promotions, you win your league, you get relegated, as we were. The main objective we've achieved it, and it feels great. But we need to start thinking and working towards the next goal that we've got, and that's to do better than what we did in the previous year. So yeah, I'm really delighted and happy that I could have contributed and what the team has achieved. In football, you need to, and I think in any other aspect in life, you need to prove people wrong. And yeah, we did. We got relegated, but it's how you bounce back up. It happens in every aspect in life. You get knocked down, and it's how you're getting up. So I think the whole year, every single one of the boys and the staff, and I'm not talking about just the coaching staff, but everyone around the club, the guys that works for the media, the guy that work in the kitchen or with the care or upstairs, everyone's been magnificent. So I think everyone just realized that it was a tough time going down, and it wasn't easy to take it mentally, but you need to go and do your best and work hard. And we knew we were good football-wise, but you need to prove the other side of football as well. So we went and we done it. So it feels good because it's. I'm really happy I've achieved my target, you know, to score double figures and to be able to contribute to the team with that. But you know, it's a team sport. You know, I've always said if the boys keep clean sheets, you know, we've got enough quality up front. If it's myself or the other guys, that we will go and win the games. So the boys have been outstanding, keeping clean sheets, and you know, Dave's breaking the records for more clean sheets and stuff like that. They've been outstanding, and I find that's giving us a platform. Then if you go and score a goal or two, that'll be enough. But you know, I'm delighted I've achieved my personal, you know, target for the season, and you know, that comes as a bonus. That obviously, if it's a match winners or getting us the point to just keep the distance between us and the teams below us. No, the boys have been brilliant since the start. We've created a good changing room, if you can call it, and you know, everyone wants to play as much as they can. But I've been in these leagues, I've got promotions, I've won the leagues, and I'm just happy to contribute with my experience. And you know, as I said at the start of the season, I'm not here to ruin something good that's been created. So, as I said, if I'm required, and obviously I want to be starting more and more in games, but I've contributed more than enough this season, and the boys, you know, have been brilliant with me, and everyone has been brilliant.
Craig, is it quite sunk in yet that you're a champion?
It has, yeah, also been a couple of weeks now, so we enjoyed that weekend, the home game here, and we've kind of been looking forward to the Clyde game. Obviously we know what comes after that, so we're looking forward to it. Obviously that's really disrespectful. Trying to be professional here, I'm really sorry about that. Just like to apologise to Pars TV. But yeah, it's been great, and obviously I don't know what the question was now, to be honest. So.
Well, we'll move on to just how you felt back at the start of the season, because obviously you were kind of struggling with injury. We've touched on it a few times about the difficulties you had with your knees, and that must have been a really tough time for yourself. And I guess it's kind of indication now that you've won the league and you'll get that medal and the trophy tomorrow, that it was worth all that kind of hard work and pain and kind of grind to get you through there to get all the good times now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, obviously it was tough, but it's part of football. I've had plenty of injuries in my career, and you know, I'll probably have a few more, so it's just about getting through that. There's been boys that have missed large parts of the season, so you know, it's them that you feel for. But in terms of since I've been back playing up front and feeling fit, I've enjoyed my football, and obviously I've scored a few goals, and you know, hopefully keep scoring a few more before the end of the season as well.
I remember at the start of the campaign I'd spoken to you about how the manager had said he knows you very well, and he felt he could get the best out of you if he can get you fit, and you said, you know, you believed that was also true and could be the case, and it's clearly shown on the park over the course of the campaign. Just what has the manager done that manages to get the best out of you?
I think, like you say, obviously just knowing him for all those years, we got quite close together at Dundee. We both done rehab at the same time, so I think just having someone who you know that they trust you, and you know that they rate you as a player and give you that confidence to go and enjoy your football, I think that's been the biggest thing. Not just me, the whole boys. You know, you can see that the way we've played and the spirit that we've got here. You know, the manager trusts us, and you know, we trust what the management team are asking us to do, and you know, it's worked out really well, and you know, just hopefully we can continue that. But it's just, you know, the atmosphere around here as well. It's an enjoyable environment to come in every day, and I think that's really, you know, what's made it a big success this year, is that everyone gets on, and you know, it's good coming in here every day. It's a good laugh, but you know, when we're training, it's serious. It's a good standard, and I think we've got a good balance of the two of those. So no, it's been really enjoyable.
When you look back over the course of the campaign, what was the big moments that stick out in your mind, whether it be goals or matches or saves or whatever, that kind of allowed us to kind of go on and make sure that we did seal the championship in the end?
I think also the Airdrie 3-0 game was probably the one that people look at, but you know, there's moments earlier on in the season. I think, you know, McCann scores at Kelty. I think that was Christmas Eve or whenever it was.
there's been a few big moments. Even the Falkirk game down there, when we win 1-0, it was a big moment. So there's been a few. I think every player's kind of came up with a big moment throughout the season. If you look right through the squad, there's been some really good performances and moments that we've needed boys. And I think when boys have dropped out the team and others have came in, it's not made it any worse. It's it's a strong squad and everyone's played their part. So I think that's a pleasing thing as well, that it's a group of about 20 boys and everyone's a part of it, and we've all done this together with the fans and the management staff and everyone. So it's been a real collective effort, but thoroughly deserved.
Last season was a tough moment for me personally and the team, the relegation, and then coming back and wanting to bounce back and make up for it and working as hard to do that. Then obviously start of the season, the group stages, obviously had that tough moment where I obviously missed that penalty and it was another wee blow, but I just knew that if I kept working hard, and that's one thing I've done my full career is just work hard, so I knew if I keep working hard, then that's where a lot of credit goes to the manager as well. The way he was with me, he was brilliant, kept the faith, showed confidence in me, and obviously that helped me grow. And then this season has went a lot better, but I've just worked hard and tried to enjoy it as much as I can, and thankfully it's turned into a good season for the team and me personally. I just want to carry out my job as best as I can and manage to set pieces. Obviously a big part of the game now, and it's something I enjoy doing and I practice, so I'm glad to have chipped in with some good balls in for the aim, and then it's just something like my passing, and that's something that I try and pride myself on, and look for that side of things. Getting these assists has been good for me, so no, it's just personally I've just enjoyed every minute of the season, and at the end of the day I'm just glad to help the team. I think that's something we've been good at this season, is even when we haven't been at our best and our quality on the ball's maybe not our best, what we've done is we've knuckled down and worked hard. I think that comes from training, and the manager drills that into us, that no matter what, if you're not having your best game, you're not, just keep working hard, keep running, keep fighting. And so a lot of credits to the manager for instilling that in us, and that comes from training, and then you take it on to the Saturday. And it's just a good group of boys who enjoy coming into training every day, and we work hard for each other, and we want to fight for each other. So I think that showed throughout the season. And League One, it's a very difficult league. There's a lot of hard places to go. Teams get stuck in, they're in your face, and we've stood up to it, and we've fought hard as a team, and I think that showed. Probably most people would say, obviously they come back at Airdrie. That was at the point where Falkirk had closed in as a wee bit. Airdrie were still in the fight. Can't take much credit for that. I was off after half an hour, but no, that was a massive moment, because I think other teams would have been watching that and thinking, oh, we're back in this, and then it would have been quite deflating that we came back. But the character that day and the way we hung in there and kept going, and to win that game, that was a special day, and I think it was a real big moment in the season.
Well, it's been great ever since I've walked through. It's been amazing, obviously, with the team, the staff, to come out as champions and get ourselves up. It's been great.
I'll just echo that. I think it's been really good this season. It's been enjoyable. I think the main thing is we've all had fun on the pitch and on the training park, so it's been a really enjoyable season as a team.
In terms of yourself first, Josh, because you were here at the end of last season, coming into this season, we wanted to get off to a good start, get back to winning ways, and we've managed to do that early on. So how key do you think that was in kind of our success this campaign?
No, it was really important for us to hit the ground running and try and give ourselves a chance to get straight back up after obviously last season's disappointment, which was tough to take. But I think the boys that we've recruited, the people that we brought into the club, has really helped us and bounced them straight back up to the Championship, and we're looking forward to going again next season.
As we know, the manager was very flexible with his formations and his tactics, and we were both just saying off camera there about how you have both been able to adapt into that wing-back role. So just talk us through it from your point of views and how easy your games have been this season with the tactics the manager has employed.
Nah, I think I think it's been easy to adapt to. Obviously, like I say, I've moved around a couple of positions now. Started off as a winger, obviously more or less, and then played in midfield a bit. But obviously, going to wing back, I think it's been easy to adapt to. Yeah, I've just enjoyed it.
I think it was a wee bit more natural for me being a full back anyway. But like I said, it's I enjoy it a lot more because I get to be higher up the park and have a chance at scoring goals at the other end of the park, whereas usually I'd be trying to keep them out the goal. That hat's ridiculous. Tony Pulis.
Every game, obviously, know we're gonna go and try and win, but we've always been able to get back in it. We've never, even when we've been down, we've never gave up, and I think that's shown the whole season.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think the gaffer says it quite a lot. I just don't think we know when we're beat. Obviously, we go out to try and give a performance every week, but realistically, over a 36-game season, it's going to be hard to perform every single one of them. So there's going to be days that we're off it, and luckily in those games this season, we've been able to grind out a result, even though we've not been at our best. So I think that's probably one of the reasons we've won the league.
Definitely. Now we're proud of obviously keeping that run going, and we want to keep it going till the end of the season, obviously. But it's going to be hard. But the way we've been all season, yeah, we're just trying to keep it going.
Aye, it's definitely something to be proud of. I'd agree with that. Obviously, being a defender, you want to make sure I concede as little goals as possible. And this season, our defensive record's been great. So I am really proud of how we've played this season, and long may it continue in the Championship. Hopefully, it stays the same. As every football player, you want to play in big games and that sort of thing. Obviously, with Falkirk being in this league, it's been like a great sort of game to be involved in. With obviously the crowd we had here, the first game down at Falkirk as well was obviously a big atmosphere. So those are the sort of games you want to play. So it has been great on that sort of standpoint. But again. I'm getting the idea.
Just echo all of that. We can't obviously playing in front of big crowds, and that's what we want as players, to play in big games. And I just echo most of what you said to me.
Obviously, I remember the rest of the question. So obviously, we need to stay focused. We obviously knew we were close the last few games. The game up at Peterhead, we could obviously have won it there, but we couldn't have focused on what the result in the Falkirk game was going to be. We need to make sure we got the 3 points, and luckily we did. So we gave ourselves the opportunity here on Saturday, and I think we turned in a half decent performance to make sure we won the title. So we had to obviously stay focused. So we're glad we've done that and enjoy the rest of the season, rest of the games now.
This season we've been unbelievable. We've been deserved winners of the league, and to obviously be crowned champions is quite surreal, especially being a young kid from Dunfermline. It's something what they all dream of doing, is winning titles and lifting trophies here at East End, and I just can't wait for that day to happen. So yeah.
If we look back at the start of the campaign, of course you were one of the guys that were here at the end of last season, and you suffered the relegation, so it must have been difficult coming back for pre-season to try and pick yourselves up and get back to a positive momentum. But the manager really seemed to instill that in us from the start, that winning mentality, and we started the season really well in the Cup and just carried that on into the league.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the first thing the manager said when he came through the door was that he wanted the club to start winning games again, and over the course of the season we've certainly done that, and as I say, we're deserved winners of the league, and we don't really want to talk too much about last season. Obviously the disappointment that was relegation. Obviously there's the group of boys that are in that changing room there. We've worked our socks off all year, and as I said, I think we are deserved winners of the league, and we're all just delighted with how the seasons went.
For yourself personally, you started the season well also, and got a couple of goals, and did that really help boost your confidence? Of course, there was kind of that key strike against Alloa at home from the left hand side just behind you, where that gave us the 3 points in the opening day of the league campaign, and that must have really boosted everyone around the club, that we got that maybe bit of luck that we were needing.
I think the main thing was the manager coming in and showing great belief in every player, no matter what went on last year. He gave every boy a chance to show them what they can do, I think everybody took their opportunity this season. I think it's right from the top. Obviously, the managers came in. He's just wanted us to work hard, no matter what the result may be. It's the first thing he said. He wanted us to all work hard and just believe in each other and stick together no matter what. And I think over the course of this season, we've certainly done that. And yeah.
There's been a few big moments over the course of the campaign, a few big games, and when I've spoke to some of the other guys, they've mentioned the comeback away to Airdrieonians, but as well as that game which you were heavily involved in, of course there was the Tuesday night game against Falkirk here as well, where you got yourself on the score sheet and were heavily involved as well. Just talk us through those kind of big matches, big moments that you've also been able to contribute in, and that must be really pleasing that you've been able to step up when the club's needed you.
It's pleasing for myself, just getting involved in the game and whatnot, and being able to contribute to help the team pick up 3 points. Obviously the one here on the Tuesday night against Falkirk, it was unbelievable, the atmosphere around the place, and the boys just sticking together away to Airdrie as well. Obviously we went behind, we weren't playing too great, but we showed great belief in each other and stuck right together. And it's one that we'll look back on, and we're very happy with the 3 points that we took that day. But I think the main thing over the course of the season is that we've got a group of boys in that changing room that all believe in each other, they all stick together, and we have great fun with each other. So we're just thankful for that.
And you mentioned in your first answer about being a local lad, so to have the togetherness with the supporters at the end of the season and get your name kind of sung out, what did that mean to yourself?
Yeah, obviously a couple of weekends ago it was quite surreal, to be honest. I said that at the time, it's one that I dreamed of when I was a young kid, and to make it all happen this weekend, lifting the trophy in front of hopefully a large home support is what I've always wanted to do, and I just want to keep on continuing my development here and see where the club can go from here.
Champions again!